Hello YouTube users, it's Jester Tech here with you once again, and I think it is about time I made another video. It's been a day. I gotta make another video on this truck. And well, I'm also gonna be explaining a little more of what my end goal is on putting this truck together. And obviously there's storm chasing as part of it, but the other part of it is the fact that I'm gonna be moving to Oklahoma at the beginning of next year. And well, I'm gonna bring some cars out there with me. And I need one truck I can haul stuff around in, and one that's a daily driver. And I actually have some choice here, looking at these vehicles here at Jester Automotive, as I like to call it. Now, daily driver-wise, you'd think this would be my first choice, the 01 S10 Blazer. But this thing has quite a few tiny little issues. It looks pretty nice. It's got a really good body on it, but it's got problems with it. And it's gonna take a lot of money to fix it right. Like I'm gonna need to pull the transmission back out of it. Ever since I did manual swap, this transmission I got my money's worth. $200. I got 15,000 miles of this transmission, but input shaft bearing sounds so bad that I would not take this thing on a trip longer than across town. So trans needs to come out, and I'm gonna have to do that before I sell it, because I'm not gonna sell it like that. This thing's kind of too nice. I could get, having this thing fully sorted out, at least mostly sorted out, I could get some pretty good money for it, because it doesn't even have a speck of rust. And you're not going to find too many stick shift four-door Blazers. In fact, you're not going to find any. This is, as far as I know, according to the internet, there's one guy I saw that's in the middle of swapping his. This might be the only one around. There's probably at least one other, but they haven't come forward on the internet about it. So I'm going to take the old RGB Jeep with me as my daily driver. This kind of rotted out death trap, mostly because this thing is mint mechanically. This thing is seriously good. I mean, I drive this thing everywhere. I drove it to Texas. I put like 16,000 miles on it. Doesn't burn a drop of oil. Doesn't even leak. Look at the underside of this thing. When's the last time you saw an old Jeep like this that wasn't just leaky as shit? Like, look at that. There is no... It doesn't leak a drop of anything. It's crazy. Except the axle seals leak a little bit, which I'm going to take care of that actually this week, because I got to take this thing to Springfield, Missouri this weekend to see my girlfriend. She actually lives in Oklahoma. She's the reason I'm moving to Oklahoma, but we're going to meet in the middle and for the weekend in Springfield, Missouri. So I think this will be the daily driver. So what truck am I going to take? Well, I already kind of gave that away, but if this, for whatever reason, doesn't work out, I do have a backup. The old Suburban. And no, I don't have a speech impediment. It's Suburban. That's what it is. This thing would do it. This thing would do it. But I'm not going to say it's on its last legs, but it's going to need infusion of cash at some point, a large infusion of cash to really keep it on the road, because this is a clean truck. It's worth putting the money into, but the motor's getting kind of worn out. It's burning a lot of oil. It's got 335,000 miles on it, and it's a cool truck. I mean, I'd be okay selling the Blazer, because I mean, it's one thing, I know it's a manual transmission Blazer, but I could build another one. This Suburban, obviously I could build another one of these too, another manual transmission Suburban, but I've been through too much with this Suburban. Out of any car I've ever bought, this is the one I put the most miles on, and this thing has never left me stranded, ever. In probably 60,000 miles I put on it since I was like 18 when I bought it. So yeah, now I'm 23. I mean, I'm keeping this truck. I'm going to keep it on a piece of property we have, or my family has. But if things don't work out, I'll have to put a little bit of money into it to work, and maybe fix the exhaust up. Got to do a bunch of work on the front end. The front end's kind of falling apart. It's got good tires on it. I just put these tires on it, which I haven't been driving it, obviously, because it'll chop up these tires immediately if I drive it like that. But it's got good tires on it and all that stuff. So it really wouldn't take much to get this thing fully thrown back together. Well, like I said, the engine's getting worn out. The rear end's also worn out. I mean, only decent part of it is the transmission and transfer case. Both of those are in pretty good shape. Yeah. So that brings me back to Old Yeller. I love this truck, and stuff like the brakes in the front end and all that stuff, I already did all that years ago because this was my first truck. I've touched like every nut and bolt on this truck. It's all put together decent. It's got good tires on it. All the brakes are good and stuff. It really just needs a motor, and well, there's the motor right there. And I'm gonna be tearing this thing down this week. I just gotta get the engine hoist back from work. I borrowed it to move this out, but my boss needed it over the weekend because he put an engine in a Toyota. So I kind of gotta wait on that to be able to even take this out of the truck. But I'm gonna take this out, put it in that garage, tear the cylinder head off, and just go from there. I'm not like rebuilding it, but I'm gonna put all new seals in it. I have a different head for it too that I'm gonna put on, because it's got one of these shitty integrated heads. It's also got the California smog on it, which is crap. I got a desmogged head with the EGR delete manifold and stuff like that, so it's gonna be pretty good. I also got a double lip rear main seal for it. Actually, I got that sitting in the car, and I only in one of these old trucks. That's the only seal I ever run, because this motor that's in it went through 2 rear main seals. And actually, it's very possible in one of these trucks to do the rear main seal with it in there. You just got to unbolt the motor mounts and jack the motor up a couple inches. You can do it. Just pull the oil pan. But I put 2 rear main seals in this thing until I discovered the double lip ones, and these double lip ones never ever leak. So yeah, I got that for that. It's gonna be good. I also got another transmission for it too, which I don't know if I'm gonna put it in there, because the one in it's fine. I literally paid 50 bucks for that transmission, and I've put like probably 10,000 miles on it. It doesn't give me any trouble. It's showing a little bit of wear, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I feel like. I mean, I'll just keep the other one in there, because I just pull this trans out and put it back in on a lift in about like 2.5 hours. I could have this thing I could take it all apart and put it back together if I needed to. It'd make things easier for me, I guess, just to pull it out, pop it back in. Because after I get the motor put together, my goal is to get a couple buddies over, and we'll just, in one weekend, we'll just take it apart, put it back in. In fact, we could probably have it in and out and running in like 8 hours, but I want to do a really good install. So that's what we'll probably do. We'll just do that over a weekend. There's another problem with the transmission. Me putting the new one. The other one, it has a wrong tail housing on it, so I'd have to change that out. So I'd have to take this transmission apart and that one, stuff like that. And also, there's like problems with shimming and backlash. Sometimes it affects that. The tail housing on those, it affects that, and I don't want to fuck with that right now. This engine does really run good, I'll tell you. But you can hear the noise. That's not exhaust. That's a hammering lifter and or some lower end noise. Probably a lifter, because you hear it a little bit. Which that's not the reason I'm pulling it out though, actually, because I'd be willing to put lifters and stuff in this thing and get it right. The reason I'm pulling it out is because this. It's milkshaking the crankcase pretty bad. Not a blown head gasket, because I pulled the head off. I discovered has 2 cracks in the deck of the block. And I know exactly why they're cracked. It's because 17-year-old me, when I pulled the head off that engine initially, and put this head on, I over-torqued the head bolts and or didn't clean the coolant, like that splashed into the bolt holes out, especially the blind bolt holes, because what happens with that, hydraulic force, water doesn't compress, it'll break that out. So this block in here is actually junk. The block's junk. Everything else is usable, but the block is junk. Though I've been running it a while like that, because when I had the head off, I already had bought new gasket and stuff like that, so I just threw it all back together and threw some K-seal in the radiator, because it took like 5 years before I noticed a problem, and the K-seal actually kind of fixed it for a bit, and I drove this thing around doing stuff, and then I knew it wasn't forever, obviously, but now it's getting pretty bad, and oil's pretty bad, and yeah, it's using coolant, so Yeah. There's also the fact that this thing smokes when it's, at least, especially when it's cold, it smokes like a freight train, blue oil smoke. Which is not valve seals, because I've done the valve seals. This thing's just worn out. I went to do a compression test on it, and the compression numbers were between, and mind you, it's got a slightly higher compression ratio than factory on this. It's got a different head, the 194 head on it. Well, it's not a 194 head like you have on a small block Chevy, where it's a 194 cubic centimeter chambers. No, this came off a 194 cubic inch inline six. The head did, so it has smaller chambers. So the compression's like at 9-to-1 on this thing. So the compression numbers were really low, but they were also consistent. They were like between 95 and like 105. That's pretty low for, that's barely able to run territory. I mean, you can see the blow by this thing has. So yeah, it still does run hard going down the road. I'm gonna be pulling this thing out, putting this good used motor in, because I'll just tell you, these inline sixes they're really hard to kill. The original inline six, the reason it died is because 16-year-old me pulled in the manifold off, which it's the intake and exhaust manifold. They're both like bolted together. They're kind of just like one unit. And I didn't get one of the bolts like fully tight because it was in a hard place in my wrench, blah, blah, blah. Didn't really get fully tight. One of them backed off and it sucked air, and cylinder number 6 melted, or piston number 6 melted. That original motor that was in this thing would probably still be running in it to this day if that didn't happen. I still actually have the piston. I have it sitting on my nightstand as just a souvenir from the melted piston. Some other things I might tidy up. I might tidy up the wiring a bit and stuff. Might run the HEI from this motor in it. I mean, I like points. I mean, but a points system is pretty simple. But I might just run the HEI because it's one wire. Also, might put together an actual battery tray for it. This battery tray rusted out years ago, and I just kind of hacked in this battery tray out of a 88 to 98 Chevy truck. I bought an inner fender for my Suburban, because when I bought the Suburban, the inner fender was missing. So it had a battery tray on. I didn't need a battery tray for that, so I just threw it in here. Doesn't quite fit right, and it's like I tack welded it to the fender. It's wrong. It's very, very wrong how it's put together. But otherwise, like the tune-up and everything's pretty good on this. Might run a hard line. I don't know why. I had a hard line just running straight to the carburetor at one point, but then I put the different carburetor on it. I changed out from the Monojet, the Rochester Monojet that originally came on it, because those carburetors, in my opinion, they're a crap carburetor, really hard to tune and keep going. And I found this, and I've rebuilt it, this Carter YF. Found it at a swap meet, put a kit in it. It runs like brand new because of that now. So I put all these nice parts onto this motor back here, and I have a pretty good running and driving truck. I mean, it's got a good exhaust on it. I had a new exhaust built for it at one point, so exhaust is all good. I mean, this truck will be fully sorted out mechanically when I'm done with it. That's gonna be pretty nice. Compare this Suburban where I could fix all this stuff, and then, well, this motor right here, I get problems with the spider injectors. There's a million different things that could go wrong on the Suburban. When this thing, no power steering, no AC, none of that stuff to really worry about. Not even power brakes. There's one vacuum line that goes to the vacuum advance. One wire to the alternator. I mean, there's nothing to go wrong. Water pump, I got spare water pumps. So yeah, I think I'll have this thing put together pretty well, and it will be pretty reliable for chasing. It just depends on how good of an install I do, because it doesn't matter how good your engine is. If you just put it in really half-assed, you're gonna have problems with a bunch of little things, and it's gonna take you a while to get it all sorted out. I'm gonna put it all and I'm gonna do it all right the first time when I put it in. I'm gonna paint the engine bay. I'm gonna do all this stuff, clean up all the wiring. It's gonna be great. Might invest in some taillights on this thing. Kind of hit a tree with this one. It's all bucked up. But yeah, another thing I might invest in, but probably not now, I might get some rear leaf springs, because the leaf springs in this thing are kind of sacked out. This thing worked pretty hard throughout its life. Not as sacked out as my Jeep, but they're sacked out. And yeah, I might get some like off a 3/4 turn or something. Though this thing does ride really good. I got new shocks on it and stuff, and this thing actually rides like a Cadillac. It's pretty cool. The other thing I might do this before I take it chasing is, well, I painted this thing when I was 17 with Ace Hardware brand tractor paint. I did it with a paint gun, and it's actually held up okay over the years, but obviously the body is a complete wreck. It is a mess. But I was thinking, you know, maybe I could kind of refresh it a bit, because I'm not going to put 8-9 grand into the body of this thing quite yet. One day I probably will, but not quite yet. I'm not going to get bed sights for it and get fenders, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do the cab. Maybe I'll do the cab's not that bad in this thing. But maybe I'll just kind of fluff it up a little bit, you know. I actually have a lower fender piece for this for whatever reason. Some guy just had it laying around, and hey, can I have that? He's like, sure. For a truck he never finished. I have a lower fender piece sitting here, so I might, you know, put that in and then Duraglass this crap a little bit. Then clean up where I put these really bad patch panels in when I was 17. Like, look how bad that is. Look how bad that is. Oh my God. You know, cut that, re-weld it, kind of straighten that out. I might just straighten out the body slightly and, you know, just get some more tractor paint, kind of go over it again. Maybe get a new hood for it. Well, maybe not, I don't know. This hood is really bad. It is a fire damaged hood that I got for 20 bucks. Because the original hood, well, actually no. The first 2 hoods I had on it, 3 years apart, flew open on me on the interstate, bent in half. So I know where I can get another hood that's a little rusty at the front, but not bent. So I might could just get another hood, redo the paint, make this thing look, you know, sort of passable at least. I mean, I'm not gonna put some really high dollar parts on it or anything. It's gonna be a work truck and storm chase truck that's gonna get hail damage. And I mean, I'm not worried about hail damage on this thing. The roof is already already is hail damage, because I've actually been through some golf balls in this thing before. So it's got some dents in it and stuff like that. You can kind of see them. Like you see there and here and etc. It's not actually that bad. It's pretty thick metal, so it's pretty hard to dent it, but yeah. It was sitting at this house when it happened, actually. I wasn't even driving. I wasn't actually in it when it happened, when the golf balls happened. Oh man, this video is getting long. I've just been rambling a lot, but well, anyways, that's like my full long mega plan on this truck. Maybe I'll talk a little more about after I get the motor in there. Then you'll just see videos on me, you know, putting like a beacon on it and stuff like that. I want it to look really old school, maybe lettering it up, building a laptop mount for it. You know, putting my 2-meter radios in there and antennas and stuff, which I'll probably mount the antennas. I kind of want to attach everything here to this kind of headache rack thingy that's on the topper. And yeah, I'll make this thing mint. I'll make it into a pretty good chase vehicle. So anyways, honestly, thanks for if you have gone this far, I'll reward you with the video of a cat. What are you doing? And thank you for watching and listening to my ramblings. You have a good day, and stay tuned for the next video.